We'd like to welcome Kate O'Neill with BC Hydro, who's going to be doing an update on the newly named John Horgan Dam and the Notchie Reservoir. Is that what it's called?
Notchie
Mega Reservoir, which means Dreamer Lake. And on that note, we'd like to thank the First Nations and Treaty 8 territory for allowing us to be in this wonderful area of the province that we're allowed to work, live, and play. We love being here, and we're super thankful. I do have a board member I think we have Tanya Richter. She's one of our board members here. And we have a special guest who's new to town, Alicia. Alicia is the new manager at the new Travel Lodge. So she is coming to join us today. Lunch today is being put on by Crazy Beans Bistro. Feel free, there's soup, sandwiches. Grab it, have a seat, and once everybody's had a chance to eat,
I'll start chatting.
Kate will give me the Carol Burnett, and we'll start when you're ready.
Yep.
So yeah, welcome. Grab some lunch. A flyer for sunny Portugal. The Chetwynd, Mackenzie, and Tumbler Ridge Chambers have partnered up with Colette Travel for a trip in next April to Portugal. There are 3 seats left. We have almost completely sold out. And it's now been turned into a private coach tour, so it's going to be, so if you guys are interested in booking that trip to Portugal, do it now before it all sells out. 2028 is going to be, hopefully, cross my fingers, Scotland.
Oh,
yeah.
That's the one I'm going on.
Yeah. So welcome, Kate. Thanks for taking time out of your day and braving the beautiful Braden.
yes, right?
And coming
we
down.
had chats about roads. It's so nice to be, first of all, I live in the region. It's really nice to travel out to Chetwynd today. I absolutely love the drive, so this is not a hardship for me. And it is beautiful. I must say, I was scanning the landscape looking for the evidence of the caterpillar thing, which is not terribly popular. It's kind of depressing to see where they've attacked, but it's not so bad here. There's a little area in between. Anyway, it's something we have to live with, but it is a beautiful day in the piece, which brings me to my next slide, which is the territorial acknowledgement, which is to say that before I begin, I do want to acknowledge that we are here on Treaty 8 territory, in the traditional territory of the nations, the First Nations Deneza, Cree, and Saikane cultural descent. And it is a pleasure to work, live, and play in this part of the world. Which brings me to why I'm here. This photo was taken last week, believe it or not. That's a picture looking upstream of the now newly named John Horgan Dam and Generating Station. And so what we have, starting on the left, that little area is really still laydown area, but as you go up to the top of the picture, you see the spillway structures, the penstocks, intake structure, powerhouse, generating station, the concrete buttress or the roller compacted concrete buttress at the end, and then the dam joins the buttress and travels across. The dam is 1,000 meters across, so a kilometer. 60 meters high. It's about 500 meters at the base, and it is, as you travel around to the right, you have what is left of the diversion outlet portals. So for almost 4 years, we diverted the Peace River around what is now the dam in order to create a dry construction area. And for the last year, that was one of the last fairly large pieces of construction we needed to complete, which was backfilling those tunnels. I've got some more information further in the presentation to give you an idea what that looks like. So up behind is the now newly named Nache Mige Reservoir, which is actually Dreamer Lake. And so the reservoir is 83 kilometers and it extends up to the tail race of the Peace Canyon Dam at Hudson Hope. And the body of water, of course, it scoops around behind. You can see it comes in at the back, and that's how it gets into it follows into the penstocks, drops down into the powerhouse, and that's where the electricity is generated. So, what are we up to finish this? We are approximately 94% complete. So that last 6% is a lot of things that have to get done in order to wind up the project. This is not an exhaustive list, but one of the things we have to do is pave the roads on site, and the photo is an example of us paving last fall to put pavement on top of the dam. And so we'll be doing that around site. We need to decommission the worker accommodation, physical reclamation of site, which means reseeding and returning the land that we used for aggregate extraction to put it back to nature. We will take the temporary construction bridge out of the river, and we're building a cultural center. There's a little more detail on all these items as we go along. So here is a photo of the now closed worker accommodation. It closed in March this year, so we no longer have workers living in the camp. As we were moving along through the process, we started approximately 2 years ago doing a market sounding to find out from a variety of agencies, government, you name it, whether there was an opportunity for them to repurpose the lodge. And through that, as we went through that process, gradually we came to this year, and as we moved towards closure, BC Hydro saw an opportunity to repurpose it on the North Coast Transmission Line project. So the camp will be decommissioned. It has 21 pods with 84 rooms per pod. It will be moved along with the lobby area, the cafeteria, and the lounge areas, and those will be relocated along the route between Prince George and Terrace to provide housing for the workers that will be building the update on the transmission line.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we did have a lot of interest in, we had over 100 companies and organizations express interest, but the logistics of moving and reassembling it in their location turned out to be more challenging than previously thought. So they weren't able to carry forward with their plans.
Was there not, there was talk at one point of having it being used for a recovery camp?
That was one of the suggestions put forward.
Right.
It was just among the options that people had hoped might be an opportunity, but it has to be moved from here. So it can't stay here. And the cultural center, which is another slide a little lower down, but just for context, it will be in this bottom segment here. So if you imagine there's a parking lot area north of this building, this is where the cultural center that I'm going to show you in a little bit will be located.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
So, going back to the diversion tunnels. So the two tunnels were 700 and 750 meters long, respectively, two back-to-back that went around the dam. And for nearly 4 years, the Peace River traveled through these tunnels and dropped back into the Peace River on this side. This is called the diversion outlet portal. And so that's what it looked like around early last year. That just shows you what the outlet portals would have looked like and the location. The picture on the right shows you some of the infrastructure that they had to install, including the ventilation and electrical, in order to be able to work inside the tunnels to begin the process of plugging them and backfilling them. So what you see here is part of that plug infrastructure. They are now almost completely filled, and they look like this. So this is also taken last week. So the area I just showed you is this area here, and we expect to complete this part of the process probably in about 2 weeks, sometime in July. Anyway, it's nearly done. So talking of roads, they're in the process of creating the permanent access through here instead of out the back. And this is called River Road. This road would have been the road that has performed all the work in terms of transit onto the site, heavy equipment movement, people, hundreds and hundreds of wheels have turned, thousands of wheels have turned across that road, and it'll get paved when we're ready to stop moving heavy equipment and construction activity across it. The next shot takes you to the reclamation. So I mentioned this in the sort of among the activities. Unfortunately, the light in here isn't really great for seeing the detail, but
I can shut off more lights if you want.
If you want to just turn it off, it might help see the pictures a bit better, even though it's halfway through.
I was just thinking of our folks with the cameras.
Unfortunately okay. But this gives you a pretty good idea. So this end here is the east end of the site, and last year they completed approximately 100 hectares of the reclamation work, and it's not really simple. It involves, first of all, contouring and making the land work as far as proper drainage or keeping water. So these pools are deliberate. They will become wetlands. After the snow melt this winter, it starts to populate them, so does rain. And over the years, they will become vibrant wetland habitat for a variety of wildlife. So if you look a little further that way, you'll see the dam and generating station is up at the top corner. And we've started on that segment of reclamation work this spring. So the purpose is that anywhere we've done construction at site, they have to take that ground and return it to something more like what it was when they found it, or better. So one of the things they're doing here, early in construction, they cultivated a lot of the seeds and a lot of the natural plants to the area, took them from site and went away and stored them, and then started to propagate them in greenhouses, one of which is near here, the Two Sisters Greener.
Twin Sisters?
Twin Sisters. I always do two. But yes, it was one of the greenhouses that was used to develop the seeds. And so those have been replanted. So reclamation work goes underway, and then the following year we do the seeding. So it doesn't all happen simultaneously. It's a long process. I expect that the reclamation part of our work will probably carry on for another year or so. It's part of that cycle. But if you have driven Highway 29, where we removed where they did the highway realignments and they have the new bridges, you can see areas where they've reseeded and taken out the old pavement. Those are actually growing. It's an example of what reclamation looks like. So that is a full shot looking down the right bank of the site, and this is the dam here, just in case that's not obvious at that distance. And this takes us inside the powerhouse. This is what it was all done for. All that exterior work is done so that we can generate 1,100 megawatts of electricity from this facility. It is 6 units, 180 megawatts each. They're all operational now. So what happened is we filled the reservoir in 2024, started in late August, and completed it in November of 2024. We had the first unit online on the 28th of October in 2024, and then each of the next units came on approximately 2 months after that. And the last unit, number 6, came online in August of 2025. So they really got things moving fairly smoothly once they got underway. But that is what it looks like. That's the interior of the powerhouse. When we're really up and running and there's no more finishing work being done, that plastic will be removed. This building is meant to be kept very clean, and right now we're still kind of doing a bit of construction, so they keep it wrapped up so that they don't want dirt down inside. It has to be kept quite clean. So this is a picture it's an artist rendering of the cultural center. Now the cultural center is a vision of the nations working with BC Hydro to build it's a facility that will have first of all, a way to house the artifacts that we found during construction. So there's quite a considerable amount of that. There's some paleontological, so animals as well as artifacts. And also so we have 12 participating nations currently working to gather the content that will be housed in the building. And also the purpose of the center is to educate visitors and give them expose them to local Indigenous culture, and also to provide a healing space. So it will be public. It's going to be down below. If you've been anywhere near the site, there is currently a public viewpoint up at the top of the site, and the road travels down, and it will be the access to get to this. And eventually it will be, when all of the remaining construction buildings are removed, it will make more sense because the whole landscape will have been returned, and then this building will be on the north bank above the dam. That'll be finished sometime next year. It's the last piece of active construction. So the D.A. Thomas Road upgrade and day use area is complete now. It's open, which some of you may have actually been to. It's open daily from 8 till 10 p.m. and as the summer gets, the days do shorten eventually, it'll be open until 9 p.m. and then it'll close in the winter. But it has it has parking, it has some day use facilities, picnic tables, toilet. It has when we're ready to open the reservoir, it will also have a dock, and this facility enables people to bring small craft. So car toppers, canoes, kayaks, that kind of thing. And there you have it. That is actually the end of the presentation. That is an opportunity for questions.
Is that a walking trail along?
Hang on, get back to the picture. This is the shoreline protection berm. This piece here, is that what you mean?
Yeah, and is there like a...
And you can walk there.
Okay.
There's part of that berm extends a little further back, and there's a piece of it that's gated because it travels along below private property. But this piece is walkable, and it takes you up to that top corner there and loops back behind and joins the street system. So it is actually quite nice. As well, this path here will take you up behind the museum area.
Oh, neat.
So it's been linked together. It's actually quite, I haven't seen it very, very recently since it's been opened, but it's a nice place the way they designed that.
Awesome.
Got a question.
Sure.
So back at that end of the reservoir, approximately how much higher did the water level raise?
Out at Hudson, by Hudson Cove?
D.A. Thomas End.
So it's kind of
Compared to what it used to be.
it's a good question because on one perspective, as you move to the tail race, that's the shallower end of the reservoir. But some of the channels through there, it's about, I think we say it's 10 meters deep. So previously it might have been closer to 1.5 meters, to give you a bit of an idea. So the shoreline protection berm was the answer to protecting it from wave action, because it is people will recreate on the reservoir. There will be waves created by boats, potentially by weather, and there needed to be a way to buffer the bank structure. So now they've made a bank structure that can actually be used as well, which that was something that they consulted with the community about during construction. Any other questions?
I guess kind of going back on the erosion, there's still some houses in question, or are there still houses in question along Adams Street in Hudson's Hope that may or may not be occupied?
I don't know a lot about the real estate part of that. I do know that if the houses were purchased by BC Hydro and they are currently vacant, they are likely going to be, if they're not usable, which means they could either be moved to another location or sold, like mobile, then they'll be demolished. So that's probably pending, and I don't honestly know the when of that, but I expect it's not very long away, because it would need to be done. Buildings that are, if in fact there are buildings that are sitting idle, they would need to do something with them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a plan. I don't know the details of it. I could find it out. Anything else? Anything else on your minds? I'm here.
I guess the only other thing is on many minds is the bridges are amazing, but you're still dealing with the two hills where there's still the sloughs.
Oh, you mean the halfway?
Between Hudson's Hope and Fort St. John, when you drive on the highway.
Yeah.
And you go up the hill.
So the roads are owned and managed by the Ministry of Transportation. What I do know from reading in the news, and it's not anything that isn't accessible to you, is that there is local concern has been expressed by the Mayor of Hudson Hope, for one, and to some extent I think local feedback that says, is there going to be something done with the road? I saw something that said they would be maintaining it this year, but they didn't have a plan yet to upgrade that section. But it's not part of the project in the sense of, it's not a piece of something that's left waiting to be finished.
Okay. That's just interesting, right?
No, it is interesting, and it's perfectly sensible to, I mean, the road it's how you get back and forth between here and there. That's one way. And if you're going to Fort St. John, you pretty much would, I guess. You wouldn't go all the way around, would you? I don't know enough about how people move around from here, but that's a long trip if you go through Dawson Creek.
Is. Like, oh, let's go the other way.
Some days you're like, let's take Hudson Hope because it's really pretty, and other days you just want to get there quickly. And it depends on whether you're riding a car or a motorbike, like we were discussing.
Because you're always stuck between so many trucks.
We were having the road dynamic conversation, and it's really something we all live all the time, is where are you going, what are you going to be driving? If you drive a motorbike for recreation, then you pick your roads a little differently, partly because of the trip, the experience, and partly because of driving the Taylor Bridge.
On a motorbike is not fun.
Which everybody has a thought on, and it is kind of interesting. Even in a car, you kind of listen for the tire treads. So, but yeah, is there anything else I can, any other questions that come to mind?
We recently had the BC Chamber of Commerce AGM up in Fort St. John, and one of the things that they did was a sightsee dam tour.
Yes.
So they brought a crew out.
I was there.
Which was wonderful. And then following the BC Chamber, we had the Chamber Executives Conference, Chamber Executives British Columbia Conference, and I kept 16 of my colleagues behind for an extra day, and we did a circle tour, which included driving along the reservoir.
Okay.
So we tried to stuff as much information into them as we could about everything that is going on in the Northeast and all the opportunity that provides to the rest of the province. So yeah, so it was awesome.
Well, anytime you get an opportunity to bring local issues in front of people who can take the message for you,
Well, out of those 16
you pretty
people,
much have to, because you don't get people up here very often.
the majority of my colleagues have never been to the north, have never been. They said, first north we've been is Prince George. And I'm like, that is central? It is not north. So it was a great experience for them as well. And a lot of them said driving along the reservoir reminded them of driving along Windermere, along the, in the Kootenays, right?
Yep.
So beautiful drive. So it was great. And it was lovely in a big coach bus. It was nice and cushy, big windows, it was pretty. So yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming out. I know we've done some yearly updates, and it's incredible how far. It seems like it's taken forever, and it seems like it has taken no time at all.
Well, it did start, shovels went in the ground July of 2015. So it really is a 10-year and then some project. So it has taken a while. I actually I started my job with BC Hydro in 2008 to work on Site C. So I've actually been working on the project one way or another since then.
Wow.
So that's coming up on, 18 years or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun,
Yeah.
right?
Interesting stuff.
Wonderful. Well, again, thank you so much for coming out. If anybody would like a copy of the presentation, if you want to email it to me, and then I can email it out if anybody would like to have
I
it.
don't normally do that because it's always going to change.
It's always going
I
to
don't like
change.
leaving the history behind. All of those images are posted on the website. Certainly any questions that linger,
Yep.
please visit the Site C inbox, sitec@bchydro.com. I'm on the other end of that email, and I will happily find answers to anything I need to, or answer them directly.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're still open for business in terms of public inquiries and trying to help people figure out what's what. And FYI, since you didn't ask, and I'm really shocked that you didn't ask this, we really are hoping to be able to open the reservoir soon. So sometime early summer.
Great question.
Yeah.
When?
So early summer. We're not 100% sure yet, but we're certainly working on it. So I thought maybe I'd get that question.
Huge recreational
Send that
opportunities.
date to the chamber.
Yep.
This summer it will be opened.
Yeah, keep your eye, we're certainly hoping that that's the case, but keep your eyes open because it will be advertised. It won't be a secret. It'll be posted in the local media
Nice.
when we actually make the decision.
Perfect. Love it. Awesome. So again, thank you once again, and thank you to our sponsors for our Mind Your Business Luncheon series. We have Palmore Inn and Suites who sponsor the room, West Moberly First Nations, Dawson Creek Co-op, and MLA Neufeld helps us put on this program. We're always looking for sponsors to be able to keep this program going. So if you're interested in sponsoring the Mind Your Business Luncheon, let me know. We'll add you in for the next round, which will be coming up here in the fall. Harvest Fest is coming up in September 12th. It's always the second Saturday, downtown Chetwynd. We are looking for sponsors. It's time to book your booths, get your stuff ready. I just assume the library is going to do the Kids Zone again, so I've just included you. So if you want to get involved, definitely let us know. I am going to be planning that from vacation, so I'm going to have my laptop with me. So just because I'm not at the office for the majority of August doesn't mean it won't be happening. I'll still be doing it. And we have a door prize. Oh, also, we won't have any luncheons July and August. We try to take the summer off. I was hoping to have Natural Forces come join us in July, but they aren't able to, so we're going to be looking at moving them into at some point in the future. As well, LNG got a hold of me this morning, and our LNG, they're going to be doing a Zoom meeting. I just quickly looked at the email this morning, so I'll be sending that out to the membership. I'm hoping I might be able to host the Zoom somewhere here or at the library or somewhere where people can come and be a part of it as well and have lunch. So I will get that organized and send it out. So there are little orange tickets. We have a little door prize. If the number is called and it's not yours, there's people who didn't show up who missed out, so find their ticket. And the last number is 047.
That would be me. Draw for another one.
Or you want to draw for another? Are you sure?
Yeah.
You don't
okay.
want, okay. 047. So,